All right, I feel like it's a good time to do a little recap on where this device is at. Got all our modes in the main menu. Got a couple indicated by some dashes that I haven't implemented yet, but plan to. And anything else, may find some bugs here and there, but it should be generally functional. We'll start off with scales mode. In all the modes, really, you can hit this middle button after selecting it. It will start cycling through layouts. Let's say you have the diatonic loaded and switch to scales. It will hold that diatonic until you start cycling back through again. Let's go ahead and bring it to the classic, which a lot of people know. If you haven't seen it, these top buttons are Melvin Beaker's top button mod. You can find that on the GitHub for the project. I think he's got, well, I know he's got everything. He's got everything you need to do this. The code is already in here. I think it takes a 3D printer with at least 302 by, I guess, I don't know, something around 200 millimeters to get this printed. And a little bit of some soldering skills, but it's actually other than the 3D printing, I think rather cheap to do and worth the effort to get a little more indication here. And as much as indication as I have already, there's some plans for some other things. But oh yeah, let's get back to this. So we have our different layouts. This is the, that's a little much for me. So the 6-chord layout. From this main menu, wherever you're at, if you push the left key, you'll come to this black screen right here that will display the notes and the scale or the chords. Push right and we're back to the main menu. Let's go ahead and go back over to the display. In scales, you can actually add notes to each individual button. So this button now has, the root note can't be taken off the way I made it. So this has the root note plus 5 additional notes. So it's, as you see, 6 notes playing. It's not a recognized chord. If we take a couple notes off, it'll recognize the chord as something valid. We can use these octave keys. I feel like I could expand that and put a couple more octaves on this layout. Always find a couple things going through that I can improve. You can make some beautiful little things, dropping inversions and intervals in and out. Or you can, let's go for something a little lower. You can drop notes in the middle of it. It's kind of similar to how I'm envisioning the piano mode. Chords on the left and then on the right side having some different modifications, kind of like this, where you're still a little loud for me right now. But each button in scales mode is independent. No matter what layout you're in. So I can bring this button down to 1 note. And then the one right next to it, I could add, not that you'd want to use this, but as you see, the middle buttons are showing. And And depending on the scale you're in or using, these intervals will mean different things. I'm still coming up with some ideas on how to display that, but I mean, just doing a little sampling here, it's easy enough to see what you're doing. But some of these, this is a third and a fifth and a seventh and a ninth. But then depending on the scale, this could be a sus2 or a sus4. This also works the same with it's always the last button you hit. So even if I'm not hitting it, if I hit the strummer button, let's see, I think let's make sure we got some delay on there. But as we're in scales, these buttons in the middle are only for each button that you've hit. So this button is not strumming. This button does strum. And we can take the strum off. And you could come in here and you can change the cutoff to be a little bit shorter. Cuts off right when I let go. But if we come in and change the cutoff, get over here. And change it to a whole note. Even when I release, it's going to play that whole note and then cut off. I plan on adding a couple more patterns to it. We can also make it continuous, and we can select the repeat delay. Let's go ahead and go for a half note. So with continuous on, we can just hold this button